Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Huge shout out to all the iTrack fan, man, tapping in like you always do from all around the globe. Big shout out to all the iTrack members, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the globe and try to evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button and join the iTrack fan, man. Stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Oh, this picture right here, what does that look like?
Bitcoin logo.
This logo right here was from a game called Space Quest. Came out in 1991. Here's where it gets spooky. Well, that game came out in 1991.
Okay.
On the development team, Hal Finney himself was on the team.
Explain who Hal Finney is.
Who is Hal Finney? Hal Finney is the first person to receive a Bitcoin transaction on the blockchain ledger. The very first person. If he is Satoshi Nakamoto has 1.1 million Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the future, if Bitcoin hits $1 million, that makes him the first trillionaire on Earth. He did research. When he received that first transaction on the Bitcoin ledger, they mapped his IP address to Satoshi Nakamoto's address. He was only a couple of miles from that address. So you live down the street from Satoshi?
Nah, that was his other crib. He was just,
right?
He just walked up the street to the crib.
That's what I'm saying. Are we not in a slave system right now with the monetary system? Think about it. What's on the back of your dollar? There's an eye on top of a pyramid. That's not suspicious to anybody? And it says, e pluribus unum, which says, from one comes many.
Sounds like a cult.
That sounds like a cult. Are we not in the mark of the beast system right now?
We've been in the mark of the beast.
I think cryptocurrency is the exact opposite. I think it's to free us. It's decentralized. You become your own bank. You don't have to adhere to the system we're in now. Completely circumvents the Fed, circumvents, IRS and everything else. Trump just passed a bill, the first crypto bill, to where the IRS was going after DeFi platforms and everything else, to where, because he has a DeFi platform. So of course he's going to sign into law, breaking that chain to where going after DeFi platforms and everything else. He just signed that first crypto bill. That's the first one. Hal Finney himself, he's in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Love Scottsdale.
And he's frozen.
Hold on.
He's frozen right now. He's frozen.
Nah.
In cryogenic stasis or cryogenic form.
You know why you can never claim to own anything that would disrupt the system that's currently going on right now? Is because they would take you out and find a reason to arrest you. You'd have to do all of these type of things in secrecy, So that's why you see certain people take falls and get arrested for certain things, and other people, nothing happens to them. You got to read between the lines on that one. But yeah, it gets deep out here. That's very interesting.
Researchers created sound that can bend itself through space, reaching only your ear in a crowd. This new technology uses ultrasound beams that travel silently and only become audible at a specific point, creating what the researchers call audio enclaves. It works by combining two high-frequency ultrasound waves, each silent on its own, that generate a hearable sound only when they cross paths. These beams are shaped using acoustic metasurfaces, which bend sound much like lenses bend light, allowing the audio to curve around obstacles and reach just one person. This approach avoids the problem of diffraction, where sound usually spreads in all directions, making it hard to isolate. Unlike current directional sound technologies that still leak audio along their path, this method keeps sound confined to the exact location where the beams intersect. The system could change how we use sound in shared spaces. Think museums, cars, libraries, offices, or even crowded cities. You could hear music, a podcast, or a conversation clearly without headphones or bothering anyone nearby. In cars, it could let passengers enjoy their own audio without distracting the driver. It could also allow private conversations in open settings or reduce noise in specific areas. There are still limitations. The sound quality can suffer due to nonlinear distortion, and generating the high-intensity ultrasound fields takes a lot of energy. The technology is not ready for consumer use yet, but it introduces a new way to control sound by targeting only the listener and ignoring the space in between.
And they're here. And they just do what they want. It's one thing for us to say, oh yeah, I believe in aliens. But what if you get to learn a few things about them? You get to learn that they're completely telepathic. You learn that they are, multiple times more intelligent than we are, that they're part of a hive mind and they have access to any kind of information instantly, and that we have no ability to really deal with them as equals, like ever. And they're here and they just do what they want. How would that affect us? Have we really thought that through? I don't know. Our instinct, and I include myself here, is always to say maximum disclosure, we need to know. And I believe that, but we just better be prepared to have the hair on the back of our neck stand up. Because I do believe that some of this reality will involve that.
Ladies, it's now illegal to go through your partner's phone. Yes, you heard it right. Under the Federal Wiretap Act, it is unlawful to intercept any electronic communication without the person's consent. This includes text messages, emails, and even those pesky DMs. Because of the Fifth Amendment, even if you find something on that phone, you cannot use that information against the person. So before you go through those messages, make sure you know you may be breaking the law.
Now, do you really think that's going to stop somebody who's extra nosy from going through your phone? No, that's not going to stop somebody. But let me tell you something. This is a pro tip. If you feel like you need to go through somebody's phone, you probably don't need to be around that person. That's just a little observation.
5 celebrities with disgusting habits on set. The last one will shock you. Number 5, Dwayne Johnson. Rumor has it that while filming Red 1, Johnson used water bottles to relieve himself to avoid wasting time on bathroom breaks, then handed the bottles to crew members to dispose of. There was even an incident where fans spotted his filled urine bottles during a gym workout. Number 4, Will Smith. During the filming of Men in Black, Smith allegedly let out a powerful fart so foul that the entire crew fled the set, causing a 3-hour production halt. Number 3, Robert Pattinson. He's admitted to going days without showering or washing his hair. While shooting Twilight, crew members complained that his hair reeked unbearably. Additionally, during the Batman filming, he stole over 150 pairs of socks from the set, despite strict rules against taking anything home. Number 2, Jared Leto. To get into character for Suicide Squad, Leto sent bizarre gifts to co-stars, such as dead rats and used condoms. His erratic behavior led crew members to label him a lunatic. Number 1, Jeremy Jackson. The former Baywatch actor confessed to secretly sneaking into his female co-stars' trailers to sniff their worn swimsuits. This invasive and unsettling behavior was widely criticized as a gross violation of privacy.
Turns out, breakups actually change your brain chemistry, and it takes people on average 8 years to recover from it. And men probably do have it worse, but we'll talk about it. I have been told all my life that it takes about 2 years between a really good event happening or a really bad event, and then your brain returns to baseline. Turns out, that was a lie. Immediately when you break up with someone, yes, you are missing those neurotransmitters. People provide you with dopamine. It's a happy brain chemical and also does relieve pain to a degree. You also get oxytocin. That's the cuddle hormone. It's kind of the reason that animals don't often eat their offspring. The fortunate part is that this does in fact take 2 years to go back to baseline, but there's other stuff that can keep that from happening. Your brain doesn't actually know the difference between losing a loved one and breaking up with somebody. So people end up going through the 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, and ideally, eventually, acceptance. But here's why it actually takes longer to get there. The first one is the brain chemistry issue. The next ones, fortunately, can be mitigated. You need to stop reinforcing those neural pathways. So scrolling their social media, looking at pictures, replaying old events, that's not helping you. It's keeping you from resetting your brain. And unfortunately, one of the factors that really does help people move on is going to be having a support system. Men do tend to have weaker support systems than women, and that can result in diving into other relationships, bringing on more baggage, and just causing more pain in general. You gotta be there for your bros, okay? That goes for everyone. The good news is that no matter what, it eventually gets better. All injuries eventually heal, and then they scar, assuming that you've survived them.
People are paying to go to prison just to get a break from their stressful life. They're called prison hotels, and it's a growing trend in South Korea. They get locked into a 54 square foot cell and live just like a prisoner in solitary confinement, forcing you to connect with yourself. No phones or technology allowed. All you have is a mat, small desk, toilet, a tea set, and you're served food through a slot in your door. Conversations are restricted, and the only activities you can do are meditation or journaling. Would you give it a try?
Now I've seen it all. I I never thought I'd see the day that somebody's willing to pay to go to jail. That's as interesting as it gets. Hey, let me know what you think, though.
Would you give it a try?
So going back to the moon and anything, how come the first guy who ever stepped foot on the moon, which is without a doubt the most profound, groundbreaking thing that humanity has ever accomplished on Earth?
Yeah.
He's only done, I think, 2 interviews, and the president had to ask him to do both of them.
Is that right?
2. And one of them was super cryptic.
Really?
Yeah. He did one for like the 20th anniversary in front of like a college class, and he was saying like, we have to break through the lies of our history or something like that.
Jeez.
So if you are the person who achieved the most amazing, astonishing feat of humankind, why have you only done 2 interviews?
Maybe it's
and
not.
The president. He says he only does interviews the president specifically asked him to do.
This technology could be the future of 3D printing. Developed in the United States, this 3D printing method, which is done inside a gel, is called rapid liquid printing. And as the name suggests, it's very fast, because even prints that take 50 hours with normal 3D printers can be completed in about 10 minutes. Moreover, since it works inside the gel, it doesn't need supports, which usually increase print time and need to be cleaned afterward. It can quickly print flexible or rigid objects made of silicone, rubber, or plastic. And once the process is finished, the water-based gel, which is easy to clean, can be reused.
They say when the 112th Pope dies, Judgment Day begins. That's according to St. Malachi's prophecy, and early yesterday morning, Pope Francis was declared dead. Now, here's why people are freaking out just a little bit. Back in 1590, a strange list surfaced. 112 cryptic phrases, each one describing a future pope. The last one? Peter the Roman. Peter the Roman, who will guide his sheep through tribulations. When he's done, the city of the 7 hills will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge. The end. That's the final entry. That's Pope Francis. He's number 112. And if the prophecy is legit, he was the last pope before it all begins to end. Now here's where it gets a little bit weird. Francis died just hours after Resurrection Sunday ended. He was in his 88th year biblically. That number symbolizes a new beginning. And this year, 2025, isn't just any year. It marks 434 years since the prophecy first appeared. That's 62 prophetic weeks, the same timeline that Daniel said would lead to the death of a messianic figure. Not saying Pope Francis is the Messiah. Also, 2025, it's the 70th Jubilee year, counted biblically from 1406 BC. And Daniel says the 70th week kicks off Judgment Day, the tribulation, and everything. So we've got the last pope, a perfect biblical timeline, and the death that falls right after Easter. Is it a coincidence or prophecy fulfilled? I don't believe in coincidences, but you never know. Damn it, man.
Song with Gucci Mane, Busta Rhymes. I had a song with Sean Paul. I'm working with a producer who's worked with everyone. I mean, to name a few, Destiny's Child and Michael Jackson. But he's like, let me tell you something. You know that if you sold your soul to the devil, you can have instant fame tomorrow? And he's not saying it like a joke. This is real. As soon as my head hit the pillow and my eyes closed, I was somewhere else. This being starts to come in focus. God? And he said, no, you know who this is. But I immediately thought, oh no, I died in my sleep. I'm going to hell. Oh no, Father, forgive me, Lord Jesus, forgive me for lying, forgive me for sleeping around. He said, shut up. If you worship me, I will give you all these things. Oh my gosh, I still feel it.
And I'm always protected when I'm having sex. But I learned there's no such thing as safe sex outside of God's covenant. I'm about to walk off. The demon don't care about no condom. It catches semen, it don't catch demons. Yo, I'm about to throw something now. If you're not equipped and covered and ready to go out and do that for real, stay home. And they're gonna kill me in the comment section. There were 2 young ladies that were there promoting their church. Like, oh, praise God. I love Jesus. Matter of fact, let's talk about this over here. You ladies drink champagne? So now we're in my apartment. This is my domain.
Come, this is...
Oh my... Because I'm a gentleman, there's no way I can let you ladies drive home. And without going into too many more details, everybody fell into sin.
If you ever wanted to know what the true definition of demon time is, that's it. That's it, man, right there.
My project's like Regenerative Reliquary, where I use 3D bioprinting to create scaffolds to grow human stem cells into bone. This project explores the potential for regenerative medicine to heal and transform the body. Or at the heart of evolution, this is a biomechanical heart with vasculature improved through generative design. Well, this could really revolutionize treatment for heart disease. It also compels us to grapple with much deeper questions. This is the organ associated with deep emotional feeling like love. If we were to switch that out or redesign it in some way, who would we become? Not just physically, but emotionally.
The pyramids were not built on the surface to honor the dead. They were constructed as anchors, as containment obelisks, to seal something ancient and immensely powerful below the earth. These newly discovered chambers form what ancient texts called the Abyssal Vault. According to a forbidden section of the Book of Thoth, translated only once before vanishing, this vault was built by a pre-human civilization the Egyptians later called the Neteru. Gods not of the sky, but of the deep earth. At the heart of this spiral, at the lowest point, 2,000 feet down, is a black sarcophagus made from an unknown metal, humming at a frequency just beyond human hearing. Surrounding it are 8 massive crystal pylons, pulsing in alignment with the Orion constellation. Every 26,000 years during the precessional reset, the energy peaks. And here's the kicker. Some believe the being inside was not dead, but in stasis, a creature older than mankind, sealed there during a war between celestial factions, a war that ended with Earth being quarantined. The pyramids were never tombs. They were keys, or worse, a warning. And now, with the scans awakening global interest in frequencies being disturbed by human drilling and radar, the vault may be stirring.
There will be at least one, if not numerous, earthquakes in the U.S. before the end of April 2025. Specifically, there's going to be a large one in the ocean off of the coast of California, big enough to create a tsunami. If you live there, prepare, let people know.
Breaking news, we have another bombshell revelation. Kris Jenner allegedly tried to threaten social media influencer Ava Louise with legal action to stop her from spreading information on Kanye West and Jeffree Star's relationship. This admission from Ava Louise is monumental, and I'm going to break down why. But before I get into this tea, Kris Jenner, I don't want no smoke. Since I know that my content has reached your clan before with Khloe Kardashian commenting on one of my posts before, I want to get this disclaimer out. I don't think that you guys are quite grasping that Pandora's box has literally been opened. By now, we all know the tea that Kanye West made the shocking revelation that he had an incestuous relationship with a cousin who unalived a pregnant woman. We also all know that Jeffree Star confirmed his relationship or involvement with Kanye West while they both were in Wyoming. Jeffree Star's confirmation opens up Pandora's box about Kanye West's alleged affairs with men during his marriage to Kim Kardashian. And now this revelation that Kris Jenner knew about Kanye West's affairs with men and Jeffree Star changes our collective understanding of Kim and Kanye's marriage. But before Kanye West made his revelation about his relationship with his cousin and Jeffree Star made a confirmation about their relationship, there was a woman named Ava Louise, a social media influencer, who was spreading the news that Kanye West and Jeffree Star had a relationship years ago. Ava Louise made the claims that this was part of the reason why Kanye West and Kim Kardashian were heading towards divorce. Not too long after sharing the tea of Kanye West's affair with Jeffree Star, Ava Louise would go on to retract her statements and say that she completely made it up. Her retracting her statements with a potential lawsuit from Kris Jenner makes total sense now. Because you do not want legal smoke with this woman. Even if you are right, you will lose. This is deeper than, hey, Kanye is gay or Kanye may be bisexual. For over 4 years, they all knew this tea. It could also be possible they knew way before. And this is why I say it opens up Pandora's box, because it opens up lines of inquiry of, were they in a lavender marriage? Did they have some kind of arrangement? Did Kim just marry him to elevate her career? And the other deeper tea is Kris Jenner's involvement in trying to curate and protect this image that they're trying to sell to us, the public. Kanye West once tweeted, Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up like on the movie Get Out because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday. There was so much going on with this period when Kanye was in Wyoming while Kim was in LA. Like, there's so much to unravel.
Hey, we've been watching Kanye for some time now, and it just seems like he is beyond canceling. He's done every imaginable thing to be canceled for. So, he is in uncharted territory, and it's going to be interesting to see, what happens next with him.
The Pope had to be sedated because he kept screaming that demons were trying to take him to hell and there was a portal that opened up at the end of his bed. Allegedly, the story was confirmed by the Vatican. They say he's in a hospital suffering with kidney failure brought on by double pneumonia. And I hope he makes a full recovery. And if you're wondering, why would he be thinking he's seeing demons? Why is he thinking they're dragging him to hell? This is my personal opinion. If you look at the structure of the building from the inside, the stained glass windows look like eyes. And the structure and the lining of it all is the shape of a serpent's head. If you look at the view from the top, not just any snake's head, it looks like a venomous snake's head because the nose is squared off. The glass stained windows look like eyes and it has full-on fangs and everything. If you look at the structure, you'll see it. Let's not forget about the Pope's throne. The throne is literally a frozen image of Jesus coming out of hell with the keys to heaven and earth, and all the demons are clawing and scratching at him. He used that image as his throne, which was the only time the demons actually had a little bit of a fight at Jesus. And of course, they failed. And for anybody that's going, oh, that's too far-fetched. Oh, she's reaching. They have millions, probably trillions of billions of dollars. Money not being an option, the sky's the limit. They could pick any image they want, and they chose that image. Look up the Pope's throne and look up the Vatican. Look at it inside and out, and then come back to this video and let me know what you think.
You want to know how deep I've gone down rabbit holes? I'm convinced that both of the world wars were really just to erase the old world, and that there was an entire narrative scripted around who the bad guys were, who the allies are, and it was really meant to just destroy all of these beautiful cities. They took out all of the bells. If you guys haven't looked into why there would be bells in public spaces and the healing properties and the harmonious properties that these churches and all the architecture was built in, okay, it's sacred geometry, and it's not unrealistic that they started 2 world wars and put, at the time, our best men in every single country lined up across each other because they wanted to take out the most brave and quote-unquote prestigious men for every country, knowing that all of them would want to go to war.
Breaking news, as they have just executed the first man using the method of nitrogen gas, and it went horribly wrong. The 58-year-old Kenneth Eugene Smith was sentenced to die for his role in the 1988 murder for hire of preacher's wife Elizabeth Sennett. And they attempted to end his life via lethal injection in November of 2022, but they aborted this after doctors failed to find a vein on his body after hours of trying. And after spending more than 3 decades behind bars, they finally decided on the method of nitrogen hypoxia. And the death that was supposed to be quick, easy, painless, and humane ended up being a 22-minute horror show. People who witnessed it said they immediately noticed undeniable change in the facial expressions and body language of the staff, and they said they saw the absolute horror on the faces of people in front of me. And they said Smith looked like a fish out of water, flapping over and over again. And that people were so disturbed that they were fidgeting and tapping their feet. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Did we shift timelines? Because what is that? Apparently that's a dolphin called a northern right whale dolphin, and we've been documenting them since the 1700s. There's no dorsal fin. Kind of looks like a mole or a slug. A bunch of flying slugs. They kind of look like orcas, which I'm obsessed with, so why have I never heard of this? Apparently they have a rough patch on top of their head that acts like a fingerprint, too. I like it.
She asked if we switched timelines, but yet she also said we've been documenting them since the 1700s. So, I mean, where's the confusion at? I might be lost. Let me know if I'm missing something.
The day after you die, most of your blood settles in the parts of your body closest to the ground, causing purple and red patches to appear on the skin. Then, bacteria and enzymes break down the organs, releasing gas that causes bloating. After a few weeks, all of the organs and soft tissue, including your eyes, liquefy, and your skin starts to fall off. And over the course of several years, your remaining tissue continues to decay, and eventually all that's left is a skeleton.
There's a fun stat about the SR-71. It cannot turn around in the state of Ohio. Its turn radius to change direction by 180 degrees is a wider turn than the state of Ohio. Its decommissioning mission, just to show off how fast it ever went, was 1 hour and 5 minutes from LA to DC.
I remember being a kid and looking at this thing like, well, why didn't we commercial it? Like, you can't commercialize this thing. You got to be in a spacesuit to fly this.
Totally. It flies at 84,000 feet up looks black to you. Straight basically looks black to you. You can see the curvature of the Earth. You can't navigate really by Earth-based landmarks because the Earth-based landmarks are moving by you too fast. The best you can do is be like, the Rockies are in front of me, oh, the Rockies are behind me.
The World Economic Forum has launched an investigation into its founder, Klaus Schwab, after receiving a letter by a whistleblower alleging misconduct by the former chairman. The announcement comes a day after Schwab said he was resigning as chairman effective immediately. At the time, he did not state a reason for his resignation. A spokesperson for the Schwab family said Klaus Schwab intends to file a lawsuit against the whistleblower.
The Mahdi has appeared in order to invite people to a final covenant with God. And the Quran said, "We never punish until we have sent a messenger." And I am that messenger. I am a messenger to the Muslims from Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam. I am a messenger to the Christians from Jesus, the son of Mary. I am inviting you to the seventh and final covenant between God and mankind. Accepting this covenant is the only thing that will save you from the punishment which is about to come down.
You inhale a cigarette, your airways get covered in a sticky black tar, making it hard to breathe. The chemicals kill the tiny hair-like structures inside that help clear out mucus and dirt. And without them, harmful substances build up, causing infections and coughing. Over time, the smoke scars your lung tissue, making them stiff and weak. And eventually, your lungs become too damaged to function, leaving you unable to breathe on your own.
The only true test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. And there are two parts to that: getting what you want, so you know how to get it, and the second is wanting the right things, knowing what to want in the first place. I could want to be a 6'8" basketball player, and I'm not going to get that, so it's wanting the wrong thing.
If you're not careful, you can end up in a place in life not only that you don't want to be, but one that you didn't even mean to get to.
The caveat to that is all the materialistic things that you think are cool or that you think that you want, you can't take them with you when it's time to go. So you really got to look deep inside yourself and realize what's really important.
Cardi B is allegedly in so much debt that the money she made from a recent performance went directly to creditors, so it was essentially like she was performing for free. Everything in this video is alleged, not confirmation of validity of allegations. A recent performance from this former A+ list rapper went straight to creditors. It was like they were performing for free. And again, this is allegedly Cardi B. And the related blind item from July of 2024, hinting that this has been going on for a long time, reads, this former A+ list rapper is quietly trying to sell one of her homes, but she is really upside down in it. She may have to let it go to foreclosure because she can't make the payments. And the related headline reads, Cardi B shuts down Coachella X Revolve with one legendary twerk. Cardi B is once again proving that when she hits the stage, the internet listens. The chart-topping rapper stole the show Saturday night during her performance at the highly anticipated Coachella X Revolve Festival, lighting up the crowd and the timeline with a surprise moment that quickly went viral. Taking over the Merv Griffin estate in La Quinta, California, Cardi B brought her trademark energy, bold fashion, and unapologetic attitude to one of the weekend's most exclusive events.
I'm going to call major cap on that. If you know anything about Cardi B's discography, her last album was Diamond. Even if you're in the worst record deal, you're on the upside of that. So I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Call it digital ID, a simple convenience. But beneath the interface lies the architecture of control. The modern mark that will determine who can buy, who can sell, who can participate in society itself. Your phone already carries the prototype. Your digital wallet. Your QR code vaccine record, your facial recognition unlock. Separate systems today, a single integrated control mechanism tomorrow. The architecture of a digital prison built with your consent. Each feature marketed as convenience. Each function designed for control. This is not conspiracy. The same elites who gather at Davos speak openly about it. The same banks that control your mortgage design it. The same tech companies that track your movements build it. Hidden in plain sight, assembled piece by piece, like a puzzle you're not meant to solve. The World Economic Forum's own documents state, digital ID will be the cornerstone of the fourth industrial revolution. Translation, your identity will be the access key to your existence. The public-private partnership is clear. Tech companies build the infrastructure. Financial institutions create the dependency. Governments mandate the adoption. Central bank digital currencies, programmable money with built-in control. Your currency will have an expiration date, spending restrictions, geographic limitations, behavior incentives. In China, digital yuan can be programmed to expire if not spent. In Nigeria, digital IDs determine access to banking, voting, and healthcare. In India, 1.2 billion people are enrolled in Aadhaar, leaving millions at risk of being excluded from essential services when the system fails. In Sweden, thousands have already accepted microchip implants for convenience. In Australia, digital ID legislation advances under the banner of security. In Canada, bank accounts were frozen with a keystroke during the trucker protests. The beta tests are running and the results are clear. The most perfect prison is one where the inmates cannot see the walls. The technical standards are being written without democratic input. The governance systems are designed to be immune to voter influence. The control mechanisms are implemented through unelected technocrats. The mark of the beast was never about supernatural evil. It was always about a system so complete, so inescapable, that none could resist its authority. Revelations 13:17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. When cash is eliminated, when physical ID is obsolete, when all essential services require digital verification, the system will be complete. The control grid operational. This is not speculation. This is not conspiracy. This is engineering. The infrastructure of control is being built around you in plain sight. The question isn't whether they are building the system. The question is whether you will accept your place within it.
First, I had no clue what I was looking at, but then I realized that, hey, that's the Tomb of Gilgamesh. Interesting and creepy, man. I don't know.
Have you ever remote viewed the dark side of the moon?
Yes, I have.
What was that like?
That our moon has an extremely stable orbit. No other moon in the solar system orbits its planet with as little deviation as our moon does. Yes.
Mercury and the moon are about the same size. Mercury might be a little bigger. However, Mercury has 4 times the mass of our moon.
Wow.
Same size, 4 times the mass. And we know it's rocky on the surface because they both have equal looking features on the surface. So what's going on? We know the moon has hardly any iron.
And so it appears there's something inside the moon stabilizing that orbit, which is also stabilizing the Earth. And for example, the craters on the moon. Why would a meteorite impact produce a crater that's so much wider than it is deep, and then in the especially wide craters like Clavius, you see that the surface of that crater is convex? It's because it's hitting a hard shell that's underneath the regolith, and the regolith is like astroturf that's been put on the surface of that space station to make it look like it's a moon.
The equinox is not as stable as it is now.
There wasn't any. We didn't have seasons. That's a product of the moon. The equinox
is only because of the moon.
So this 23-degree deviation that we have between the our equator and the celestial equator, that produces the equinoxes and the solstices, is a function of the moon. Then, as we mentioned, these craters don't make any sense, right? These craters don't make any sense. And the basin of them seems like it's revealing a shell of some kind, a spherical shell. Then there's the impact tests, right? The Apollo 12 and Apollo 13, where the moon on a seismograph registered like a hollow object. And by the way, there's no moon that's a hollow object. Back before Carl Sagan became such a skeptic, he even commented on this and said that it's terrifying because no natural satellite is hollow. Back then,
we know that no other moons are hollow?
Yes, we know it.
How do we know?
It's just not what moons are. Moons are like You know, they're like rocky bodies that are trapped by a planet, and they're rocky all the way through. You know, the other thing about these moons are they're all weird shaped. They look like deformed potatoes, you know, a lot of them. They're not beautiful spherical objects like ours.
Dark side of the moon, 60s. Holy shit.
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, man. Smash that subscribe button. Join the iTrack fam. Stay up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the galaxy. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.